Hi, I'm Sonia. I'm a tree technician, and today I'm doing a deep root fertilization of our evergreens. Deep root fertilization is done in a strategic way. For our conifers, like this arborvitae, this green goddess, we do it in a circular pattern, starting from the drip line and working out, because the roots are pretty shallow on conifers. I started Oasis because I wanted some hands-on experience. I spent a lot of time in a lab, in a classroom, learning about these plants, but it's nothing like actually working with them, working with customers, and I think that's really valuable. Soil drench. It does allow the fertilizer to completely permeate the soil without harming our wires. See, I think sprays are really interesting. Sprays are just fun. I actually was at the house across the street and I found this ginormous cicada dead because we had sprayed the arborvitae with Bifenthrin and it was just still. I love bugs, but the problem we find most commonly is if there's rocks in the landscape beds. Rocks are beautiful, they add a lot to a landscape bed, but that's when we'll use the soil drench instead. I have a plant issue. Come here. What do you see in this landscape?
It's brown.
Yeah.
It's kind of dead.
Yeah, pretty withered. If we do a little detective work, we see a nice little exhaust vent. The heat from the exhaust is coming out and it's essentially burning these plants. Strategic placement in a garden bed is most preferable, but you can prune, then using our fertilizer, this can come back. This is a sweet bay, a magnolia. It's really pretty. They do pretty well up north. Up here, they're distantly related to avocados. So a lot of deciduous trees and shrubs, we don't want to induce early growth for them. And by exposing them to this fertilizer, that would do it. Because if we get another cold snap like we're expected, that new growth will just freeze. We want them to wake up from their dormancy naturally, and then we will fortify them later in the year. The PPE that we have to wear is our gloves. We have to wear pants and boots. Right now it's windy. And in wind, we can't spray. We can't apply insecticide, preventative or curative in any way. We want to keep the environment healthy. That's one big thing that I really respect about Oasis. For us, for the people, for our customers, every precaution is taken. We are unable to spray any flowering plants because we want to promote pollination. And so it's not going to be by a flower that we previously sprayed. We can also not spray anything above 20 feet tall because we'd have to use different equipment, we'd have to have a different amount of product, and plant that established usually can fight its own battles. But a tree like this, it's still developing, it's still maturing. It would be greatly impacted by a pest or a disease. So we don't use fungicides because, one, by the time you're seeing a fungi already established, the mycelium is completely developed. It is already overtaking. Yesterday, I had a client who had a big basidiospore, ginormous fungus, and she was like, can you take care of this? And I told her, no, we cannot, because it's really costly. It's better done as a preventative versus a curative, and it takes a lot out on the plant. Copper solution, it takes a lot of energy to fight off. It's a bit of a balance. We can do some recommendations like cultural methods. We want to make sure that the foliage isn't getting wet because a lot of fungal diseases start there, and making sure that debris is away from the base when you're watering, and that way like spores can't come up and re-inoculate. Oh my gosh, I'm almost done. Yay! I'm listening to an audiobook right now. I'm listening to Didion and Babitz. It's very interesting evaluating two literary people in the 60s, 70s, and 80s. And they kind of had a feud, but they were also best friends. And I think they were lovers. That's what I'm listening to. I haven't gotten to that part of the story. Thank you so much. Hope you learned a little bit about our deep root fertilization. My name's Sonia, and I'll see you next time.